So last year I spent a good chunk of time collecting video games about the Olympics. If you know me or my channel, it shouldn't surprise you how much I love the Olympic Games. They're not all the games that have ever been made, these are just the ones I got to in 2023. Also, we won't be talking about DS and 3DS games. Obviously, I have these, but I have no way of capturing them. I actually really like this one. It might be one of my favorites, like overall, not even of the handheld ones. But hey, maybe next year. For now, we will focus on console games. Let's begin. Okay, we're starting strong. It's a weird place to start, but one of the things that this game does the best is the tutorials. When you have an Olympics video game, you have a whole bunch of events, each with their own rules, and while the sports themselves are pretty intuitive, jump far, jump high, run fast, sometimes the controls aren't. So you will see me talking a lot about tutorial screens, and this one does them really good. It shows the controls, a video that explains each segment, and the rules are always on hand. The text is minimal and to the point. Get it. Another thing that you'll hear me hammering on about is the replay system. When you are playing these games, oftentimes you are so focused on winning, on getting the controls right, oftentimes they're very precise in the timing, so it doesn't really allow you to enjoy the aesthetics of the game. However, after the event, sometimes you can pull back and watch the event from different angles, slow motion, cool graphics. A replay system can add a lot to a game like this. However, in this one, they're not very dynamic. It is a Wii game after all. But we'll talk about more replay systems later. The crowds, I love them. Look at them. They are made of cardboard and I love them so much. Okay, let's get into the actual game. The sports are solid. To me, the perfect mix of button and motion controls. Because here's the thing, when a Mario Olympic game perfects the events themselves, it opens up to adding more out of the game modes. So let's get into that. London Party. You go around collecting items, which helps you with traversal, you want to get to these points, and every once in a while there are minigames. One of the minigames is a quiz about the Olympic Games. This is where I'm here to sweep. Okay, I got bodied, never mind. In all, London Party is fun. It's stupid, but in a fun way. I know we didn't spend much time talking about the sports themselves, but that's because they're pretty well designed. The controls are reliable, they're not too difficult, they're not too easy. It's a nice plateau, and in hindsight, I guess it's a nice place to start. We will talk more about the events in other games, don't you worry about that. Let's talk about dream events. In case you haven't played any of these games, dream events are in the Mario games, and they are wacky and quirky and fun takes on the sports themselves. It's a Mario game. Why would it take itself so seriously? Out of all the Mario games, this one probably has the best dream events. Instead of making the normal sport wacky and crazy, they fully embrace the absurdity and the nonsense, and it's great. I love it. The game treats the dream venues as if they were real. That is so cool. They also incorporate things from their original series, like Spacewalk, where you defeat Petey Piranha with the power of geometry. Wild idea, but a pretty straightforward execution. Perfect for something like this. I think this game gets the balance just right. Solid event design, which are then built up on the dream events, and then Party brings it all together for a cohesive experience. The focus is the Olympic sports, and then the extras add on top of that. Each event is tightly designed, and the dream events take those simple controls and crank it up to 11 with the gameplay ideas. It's the most referential to other video games, which surely adds to its appeal. Also, the game doesn't barrage you with text, thank you. Something we'll see with other Mario video games is that they really take on the aesthetics of the Olympics. This time it is angles and shards. But the UI is not as cool as the others. You'll see. I guess you can't have it all. But out of all the Mario games, this one is the one that I'm most likely to just put on and zone out for an hour. Let's move on. Okay, it seems we're going back to the beginning. If you think this is a game to just put on and zone out and chill with a drink, boy how wrong you are. I like that the opening video is very self-serious. They're all like, yeah, these are the Olympics, this is Mario, but this is not your little brother's sports game. And that is the general note I have for this game. It's very self-serious. The meatiest mode is Circuit, which is an interesting mechanic. It's a collection of events, and the one who wins is the one who has the most medals. Once per circuit, you can challenge yourself, and if you win, you get more points. It's cool, it adds a bit of strategy. I bet that strategy would be more fun if I had someone IRL to play with. But then there are special modes called missions, and they beat my ass. They're here to add a bit more content and gameplay variety, but oof. They don't want you to win or just win. They want you to get a particular result. Either get a specific score or a specific time, or win, but with certain conditions. They are tough, and they demand that you know how to be good at the game. That's just the more evidence to prove that this one cares the most about the sports out of all the Mario ones. Being so ancient and the first one on the Wii, this game doesn't really have a replay system. There are some replays, but they're pretty limited, and they don't really highlight the best looking parts of the game. They're just like when you cross the finish line, but they don't look too good really. And it's kind of a shame that you can't really enjoy the visuals of this game because it looks pretty good. It's a shame too because the Bird's Nest is such a cool venue. I wish we could see it more. Also, there are blimps in there, why not? I love the crowds. You have no idea how happy they make me. 6 frames per second, I love them. I'm not too keen on the fact that you have to unlock so many things. I like to hop around and try different game modes, but this just kind of makes the process a little bit grindy. You even have to unlock the trivia facts. Dude, that's a bit much. How do I become an Olympic athlete? Well, let's find out. And for that minigame, you are awarded with the secret of bureaucracy. Okay. If you want to find out any of these answers, Google is for free. When it comes to dream events, a few of them are just the same sport, but with different rules. Like, for example, table tennis. You play the same, you do the same, but the rules on how to score are different. It's actually one of the better ones. I really like Dream Table Tennis. It's a pretty basic game, but very fitting for the first Mario Olympics game. They didn't know yet that one of their strongest selling points would be how goofy the games can be. Let's move on. On we go to the first Winter Games and the first Wii U game. This one is jank as hell. The controls are jank. The use of the second screen is jank. There are many games where the second screen is just a mirror of the big one. Others, it shows something that every player needs to see. This is when the game becomes the jankiest. This one was the first Wii U one, and you can tell that they didn't really know exactly how much to use the gamepad. And because only one player has a tablet, and they want to make the games fair for everyone involved, the gamepad is reduced to an oversized Wiimote. That is to say, 3 usable buttons, directional controls, tilt inputs. That's about it. I genuinely feel because of the track record of the Wii U, we were robbed of 2 amazing Olympic games. There are some games like ice skating where everyone has to use a Wiimote. So that puts 2014 Sochi in a very weird place, in the middle of a Wii and a Wii U game. On the topic of figure skating, in couples they specifically say a man and a woman. They really said no gays in Russia. Yikes. I guess I can't make my me ice skate with my ideal partner, Luigi. On the other hand, curling is kind of a slay. I do enjoy how the displays work on that one. There's this mode where every few events you're asked a question like a quiz. It has potential, but it's not fully there yet. It's very stop and start, and what really slams the brake is the constant tutorials and explanations. So I'll just say this. The multiplayer of this game really shines when everyone is on the same wavelength. It's the opposite of pick up and play. You gotta be as good a player as your opponent, otherwise you will lose every event or they will get bored while the game explains every single minigame. The quirks of each event are very varied with their individual rules. It's kind of like WarioWare, where each game has sort of unique controls and sometimes you hop around them, except it has none of the momentum and speed. This game is okay. It is just fine. Dream events are back, but honestly I just find them overwhelming as hell, so I didn't bother with them too much. Maybe that one's on me, sorry. The bullet bill race is literally Star Wars Racer. The camera system is pretty good for the replays. I like seeing all the craziness from a more detached perspective. Watching this now makes me want to play the game, and then I play the game, and then I shut it off. Sorry. I think Legends Showdown is supposed to be a stand-in for story mode. I don't know how successful though. I got tired of it real quick. The aesthetic is diamonds. In general, the UI isn't super nice, but sometimes it can be very pretty. Honestly, out of all the games we see today, this one I like the least. So let's move on. Oh, close one. Now this game comes with a little bit of a caveat. It's not technically an Olympics video game, but more a standalone game that has an Olympics mode. It's like a DLC. You'll see that I can give the Winter Games a pretty rough rap, but I'm actually excited for this one. It looks beautiful, the characters look great, the controls are tight and... Wait, where's the Olympics stuff? I see the X Games, but where are the Olympics? Oh, the license ran out. Can't download or even play this anymore. Shame. I feel like I would have really liked it. At least it has an official IOC endorsement so I can put it on my Olympics shrine. Disappointing though. What's the next game? Okay, this might sound weird, but this is the game that I was the most hyped for. You can say what you want about the Wii U era of Mario. Bland, generic, vanilla, but I love it. I love slop. And on top of that, it's HD. That is swell. This game is absolutely my aesthetic. It is summer games, it is beach, it is smiles, it is colorful. I love it. And while I do enjoy how the game looks, unfortunately, aesthetics is kind of where it ends for me. Kinda. At first I was really disappointed with the lack of motion controls, and no real use of the gamepad either. Part of the reason why I love the Mario Olympics games is because of motion controls. They give you the chance to translate a sport you know into a very out there gameplay feature. It can even make the games more accessible, at least in theory. Here's the thing, most of the people in my life are not gamers. Sad. Which means the games I get to share with people are very simple or have unconventional control schemes. I made Emily play Amiibo Festival with me last year and she destroyed me, both in who won the game and in reading comprehension. It was embarrassing. But finding out that everything in this game was not only button controlled but also using a very limited number of buttons, that was really disappointing. At first. A couple of weeks ago it dawned on me, that is the point of the game. I put the game on, I shut my brain off, and suddenly 3 hours had passed, which to me is a really long time. The controls in this game are not meant to challenge you, which put a pin on that. The gameplay, the HD smooth graphics, simple button layout, all just fit together so well. This game might not be incredible, it's not, but it's very confident in what it is. That said, I do still think motion controls are better for these goofy ass games. I love the replay system, it has these very cinematic angles that show you the action. I love how much detail this game gives you when it comes to the venues. Not only are they highlighted on the replays, but you can actually look at them before each event with some little fun facts. They are beautiful, detailed, very accurate, colorful, and they show you those wonderful crowds. Okay, let's talk some specifics now. Hero Showdown is sick. Easily the best mode of the game. It's a little battle royale moment going on, and you get to dunk on the Sonic losers with the Mario losers. The long jump, I will never understand her, nor will I ever get the equestrian one. And it's a huge pet peeve of mine that the archery game is not at all about precision. You win by shooting as many targets as you can, not by pulling off very precise shots, which is literally the opposite of IRL archery. The UI is cool, theme is curves, swerving and curving. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Do you like my tank top? Atlanta 1996. Ooh, what's this? Asterix at the Olympic Games. I found this one for like £1, which is kinda sick. I thought this game would be a whole bunch of nothing, like just a minigame collection, but it's really not. It has an action-adventure driven game with a really cool plot. It's about multiverses. The animation is kinda sick. Look at this absolute Chad.
Out of the way, peasants! Ha! Ha!
That said, it's not an official Olympics game. The Olympic logo or the IOC are nowhere on the cover. So let me know if you want a full video on this game because it's honestly pretty fun. On to the next one. Guess we gotta get through all the Mario games first, huh? I am a big fan of the opening cutscene. They put a lot into this game. They really want to show Tokyo looking nice, and each event looks really cool, the retro ones included. Apparently, we're not getting a 2024 Olympics video game, which is weird. Kinda sad, really. Okay, on to this game. I wish there was a way to learn more about the venues like the way there is in Rio, but at least the replay videos are cool as hell. They show you how nice this game looks. But yeah, the venues look so cool. They went above and beyond. Can you tell I wish I had more footage of them? Right, on to the events. Because of the Switch, we get the chance to pick between motion controls or button controls. Some of them might be harder one way or the other, especially when it comes to timing-based events. Sometimes the motion controls have a leg up over the Wii, like the javelin throw. That's pretty good. Others really don't. Look at this tutorial person. Nice. While we're on the topic of tutorials, they're entirely non-interactive, but they explain everything step by step. Look how badass Luigi looks on a skateboard. I think it's cool that we got floor gymnastics on this one. It's my favorite apparatus, and I don't think we ever had it on a Mario one. I don't think we've had rings either, actually. Luigi toes. That's kinda cursed. This is a Mario game, which means dream events. We get exactly 3 dream events on this one, and they're a mixed bag. I cannot get the controls of Dream Race, motion or buttons. Dream Race is cancelled. I don't like it. Get it off the screen. The dream shooting I like. Granted, I like the setting more than the gameplay. It's a little too easy, if I'm being honest. The fact that they assign countries to characters is kinda strange. I think it fit better on the Rio one because that one relied on the international aspect of it all. On the Cabana there were Mii's just loitering around which look like human beings from all over the world. Here instead you've got Japanese Peach and Finnish DK. Okay. Dream Karate is a mess. Look at the screen. Look at it for 1 second more. A big part of the game are the retro events, which are honestly very charming. They're styled to look retro and all button controls. They are great. Look at Bowser. Look at him. And I love the victory screens on them. It's so cool. Although I do wish the UI changed as well. And the crowds too. They also deserve some love. Anyways, a pretty cool game. I can't wait to play the story mode. Although as always with the Switch, not having Mii's is just weird. Look how cool the opening is. Get to see the bird's nest and you get to launch the fireworks. Some of them have images too, like a globe or one of the mascots. It's very simple, but it's a nice touch. Actually, I love how much care was put into the venues. They look great. Look at that, character customization. Although it's not really customization. But the truth is right there on the title. You customize the team, not the athletes. You select the specific model for the athlete you want, while they stand there in a revolving pageant, posing for your approval. It's not an in-depth system, but it's cool that you can make the teams as diverse as you want. It's a minor thing, but let me get deep here for a second. I like it because it helps us separate the idea of a nation and a race being synonymous. Country is not a people. We share a history and a culture that go way deeper than skin tone. We speak the same language, we know the same places, the same celebrities, we share jokes with each other. It really puts into perspective how pointless bigotry is. Anyway, there are so many visual touches to this game that I really love. Kinda like how the replays focus on the winner, not always on you. I love the crowds in this game too. Look at that. Also, how the athlete spotlights work. Look how they interact with each other, how they behave after the event. In the Mario ones, everyone just kind of stays away from each other at all times, but here they behave more like real athletes. And also how they play the national anthems, that's awesome, that's great. I love the fashions of this game. I know I'm biased towards sportswear and singlets, but still. Married women were not allowed to watch the ancient Olympic Games. What? Considering what goes on with women's gymnastics, maybe men shouldn't be allowed to watch the modern Olympics. What is this guy's posture? Oh my god. A unique thing about this replay system is that it does help you recognize any mistakes you're making. That's pretty good. So here's my problem with this game. It's hard. Very hard. The hardest on this list by far. First up, the tutorials are not clear at all. The problem with non-interactive videos is that they don't let you know if you've misunderstood something. Some sports are very clear, others not so much. The main draw here is the Olympics mode, which is one of those day per day kind of gigs. It has this point system which is kind of interesting. Scoring well in the rounds gives you more points to spend, and you can use some points to reduce fatigue. That's kind of cool. It's like you're managing the team. With the calendar system, the art style, the controls, the difficulty, this game is trying so hard to be realistic, which I kinda like. But this is by far the least intuitive game. I guess it was a theme for Beijing to be hard as nails. I also didn't manage to see the Olympics mode through. I tried for literally 4 hours and I failed. Maybe next time I make one of these videos I'll have accomplished it by then. Not today. This is illegal now, by the way. Do not do. Athens. This one is by far the most arcadey in this collection. 50p for this game? Ooh yeah, thank you. But unfortunately, this game is very little other than minigames. As much as I like it, it is a product of its time. The tutorials are just text. This is garbage. I do love the graphics though. I'm a big fan of this, and this, and this, and especially this. Come on, Veins. I knew all that dancing stage would come in handy eventually. I am very glad this game has a replay system, because while playing, my eyes were everywhere except on the athletes. They really were doing the most with what they had with the PS2. It's not the most in-depth system, but it's fun, and I guess that's what matters. And when you beat the Olympics, there is no big reward or nothing. The reward is competing itself. Fine, I guess that lines up with the Olympics, I'll give you that one. Making us run in first person is truly devious. I definitely would not put this game on at a party. I don't want people to break my controllers. This game really said all British people are white. Oof. And also, let's appreciate how faithfully archery is portrayed. If only the archer had anything even close to resembling an anchor point. Oh, this is also illegal now. Too many accidents. There's the dancing mat mode, but I didn't play it because I don't have one. Kind of a shame, honestly. I really would like to give it a go. Can you tell I don't have much to say about this game? I don't want to be too negative on it because I love it for what it is. It has a limited scope, but there is much to master with the gameplay. Fair enough. Let's move on. This was their first Winter Games, and you can tell by the fact that it's just called Winter Games. They don't say the year or the date, even though it's right there on the box. I love that I can play with a Wii balance board, but the results were not very good. Controls with a Wiimote are much better, but maybe I'm just not very good. It's kind of charming how the Mii's faces are. There's nothing going on in there. It's very accurate to life. I'm starting to think I'm just bad at winter sports. Maybe my bias against them is starting to get back to me. The Olympic Village is my favorite thing because I am a nerd. It's basically a menu for you to buy clothes, listen to music, but the library is my favorite because I am a double nerd. Oh, and also watching the characters run around maniacally makes me very happy. The closest thing this game has to story mode is called Festival mode, and the graphics are kinda slick, look at them. The game itself is structured as if it were the Olympics, going day by day. You get training events, for real events, and some dream events. The dream events are kind of a banger on this one. Some of them are random as hell, but others are genuinely creative takes on the real sport, which to me is the ideal place for a dream event. I like that Downhill Alpine is just basically Ski Mario Kart, and the lag. I don't think the Wii can handle this one. You sometimes get rivals who show up to challenge you. That's kinda cool. I think King Boo looks great. Luigi being chased by bullets. You lose while the bullet just flies away. That's so funny. They don't let you lose the rival battles, which is kind of frustrating. At one point you're just accepting defeat, but the game won't let you. King Boo took me forever to beat. Luigi with a triple axle! I do enjoy that Dream gliding is just a dogfight. Peach demolishing the Dream short track. Dream figure skating is a chaotic mess, and I love it. I like this shot of Luigi showing butt. Why did I say that? I do enjoy the rhythm of training, events, dream events, and sometimes rival battles. I think that's sick. It's pretty smooth overall, although I do wish you could break up the festival mode into smaller sessions, like maybe quarter, half, or full, especially because the game knows how tiring it can be. They keep giving you these pop-ups. I'm sure party mode is great, but by the end of festival my patience had been wore thin. And I don't even think festival work as a campaign because there's a ton of events, each with their own rules. There's 3 different progressions, and I think it's so easy to just lose the thread and never finish. So while the gameplay loop is fun and all, I think it could be streamlined a little bit. That said, out of all the winter games, this one kept me busiest the longest and I had the most fun with it. So if I were hosting a party for freaks who somehow prefer winter over summer games, this is the game that I'd pull out. Okay, Tokyo, let's go. First off, the presentation is clean. You know how people go on about the UI in P5? And yeah, absolutely. I enjoy a sensory overload as much as the next guy. But this UI is clean and smooth and clear and neat. Look how each event has a slice in the thumbnail for the medley. And then it opens up to reveal the first one and yes, please. Thank you. Judo in particular has some pretty sleek graphic design as well. I also love the avatars. They are cool and funny and surprisingly detailed. Love her. You get some crazy costumes and outfits, some fun ones, and then like a hoodie, which is pretty funny when you think about it, competing in the Olympics with a hoodie and flip-flops. Iconic. The game is cartoony, sure, but it looks great. Love the water physics, lighting, everything. Some events can happen in the day or night, and the lighting effects are pretty cool. Look at this. Look at the details on the skin. Nice. You know that thing I keep going on about? The replay system? In this game, it's not as good. It sometimes has great shots that let you see the action from dynamic angles and all, but other times the camera just jerks around and has a hard time focusing on anything at all. Not as cool. Unfortunately, aesthetics is where the conversation around this game kind of ends because really, there's not much else. The events represented are a pretty varied mix, from fun and unique to team sports. Okay, here's my problem with team sports. I think half of the fun of a game based on a sport is that it really allows you to come up with unusual and fun control schemes that translate a real action that an athlete does into buttons. And because these games have such a wide scope, when what they come up with is just walk to the ball and press the button, it's just not giving. Take table tennis for example. It's frantic and quick, and you move all around and you play by flicking the control stick. Playing it feels like a fantasy of table tennis. Football feels like a video game. All that said, I do really enjoy this game. I own it both on PlayStation and Switch, and the servers are still up. Just the other weekend I was able to match with some people and play a few events. I got beat up by a cat girl. Cool. Oh look, Sonic is here. Look at him. He beat me fair and square, and I made peace with Sonic. Aww. I won't neglect him anymore. They knew what they were doing with this loading screen. They fully knew. Look at how stunning this game looks. The venues, the environment, the lighting, the clothes. Maybe not the water. Crowds have been promoted to 3D models, but some things never change. The graphic design, the UI, I love. The transitions, the on-screen text, everything is so clean. I mean, I'm a little biased because the London 2012 Olympics are my favorite of all time, but still, wow. This game is thrilling. I think it won't surprise you to learn that this is my favorite out of this whole list. I mentioned them before, but the clothing looks so good. They're so well designed. Look at these jackets. The schedule system, that I'm mixed on. On one hand, it adds more downtime, which kind of drags the whole experience down a little bit. But on the other, it raises the stakes. By the time you reach finals, you really want to win. I will say, the format gives you a fair chance. And considering it gives you a chance to choose the events, you can rely on sports that you know you're good at. So a solid A on game design. Could be better, but not bad at all. There's also a party mode that I couldn't play because I'm on my own. Hi. I like Archery Blitz even though it goes against everything that is sacred in archery. Did get 2 Robin Hoods in one round though.
Robin Hood!
By the way, now that we're on that topic, getting a Robin Hood IRL is not that cool. Someone's gotta pay for those arrows. I know this is probably gonna sound stupid, but I love the skybox in this game. It's so pretty. I played this game while the London rain hit my window. honestly blessed. The tutorial system is great, it's interactive, it shows you step by step, thank you. And the replay system is so emotional, so dynamic. Maybe my favorite. Look at that man on the kayak. Damn. Yeah, in case you couldn't tell, this game is my favorite, by far. It's challenging enough to match the stakes of the Olympics, but the controls are streamlined enough that you can still have fun while chilling out. You can get medals even if you're a little drunk, or a lot of drunk. In my opinion, this is the game that looks the absolute best. I love the commentating, so dynamic, some of the best I've ever seen in a game actually. And when you win and finish the Olympic Games mode, it upfront says, "Thank you for playing." I teared up a little bit. I love the Olympics. They are a true celebration of humanity. And I am so happy that I'm around while they are too. And I could not be more excited for Paris. I have my tickets and all. Okay, enough. That'll do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll make another one of these when I have more games to share. I literally developed blisters, calluses, and a carpal tunnel from these games. Was it worth it? You know, I think it was. Alright, see you soon. Bye! Also, look how cool the inside jacket is. That is so nice. Thank you.